Welcome to another explosive edition of the P&B Sports Show. I'm Abel Sunday. We turn the spotlight to the future of Nigerian basketball as we assess the performances of the Junior D Tigress and D Tiger at the just concluded U18 AfroBasket in Côte d'Ivoire. From the heights to the setbacks, the tournament provided another opportunity for Nigerians' young basketball talent to compete against the best on the continent, gain valuable experience, and give us a glimpse of what the future holds for Nigerian basketball. But beyond the result, the big questions remain: how well did our teams perform? What areas need improvement? And are we building a strong enough pathway for these young players to become future stars of the senior national team? To help us break it all down, we are joined from Jos by one of the coaches of the Junior D Tigress, Coach Murtala Abdullahi. Grab your teacup because P&B Sport start now. No gigments, no distraction, just pure unfiltered sport action.
Diogo Dallo, he pulls the ball then. That is outstanding!
Make the P&B Sport Show part of your weekday routine.
Philogene in the penalty area, twisting and turning. He tries to flick it towards goal.
Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Make the P&B Sport Show part of your weekday routine.
Into Osimhen.
30 minutes of breaking headlines, in-depth analysis, match preview, 2 p.m. One explosive hour of fearless opinion, heated debate, and non-stop football conversation. Weekdays at 9 a.m., Saturdays at 1 p.m. Stay ahead of no gigments, no distraction, just pure unfiltered. Good morning, Coach Murtala, and welcome to P&B Sports Show. Yeah, Coach Murtala is one of the coaches for the D Tigress that traveled to Côte d'Ivoire. The Junior D Tigress, I beg your pardon, that traveled to Côte d'Ivoire to perform, and of course they came back with the World Cup ticket. That's the most important one for us so far. At least we know that on the 19 World Cup next year, Nigeria will be there in China. But looking at the Junior D Tigress overall performance in Côte d'Ivoire, how could you rate the team's campaign so far?
It was an amazing experience. The young girls coming out, ready to
Okay, Coach Murtala, I think you should. I don't know if you enable your visual, your camera. It's like we can't see you. I don't know if you can enable that with from your end so that we can see you as well. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, you are still talking, or you are done with your? You are still talking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Just like I've said, they gave the all out, and for example, and it shows what the future of the younger player it speaks of what you have at hand. They not permitting in the future.
Okay, that's fine, Coach Murtala. Then looking at what are the biggest strengths you saw in the Junior D Tigress, and which areas do you believe still requires a serious improvement? Do you know why I asked this? Is because against Cameroon we lost with just a point, I think, during the group stage, but we came out very strong. I think at the semi-finals, also a big quarterfinals thereabout. I know we met some at the point at the semi or quarterfinals, and we beat them like with a whole lot, 70-something, 40-something, I think so. But what is the strength you guys? What's our strength you see, or where do you think that we need to build on or work on?
Personally, I can see one of us. as a team. Overall,
Okay. Then, Coach Mutala, if we had to go further, how important was the under 18 AfroBasket experience for the development and confidence of these young players? Because, of course, we saw what they were able to do and how they could fight. To be honest, I think their fighting spirit is something that we really cannot take away from them. You see how this gets fought from beginning to the end. Even against the Malian team, you could see that, yes, we know that the Malian team is stronger, but you could see this never give up spirit of of Nigerians were in them, and you could see how they fought from the blast of the whistle to the end. They never gave up. But how can you explain that? How is this experience for these girls?
you know, there's always a carry last. These things are just basketball. You know, we have over 2 million people back home. That's one of the problems. People are looking for us. Whatever is happening around, we have to find those kind of example. Event of senior teams passionate about what it's about. It's about the country. People in the front of the place, just about to have not being at the back of the place to have the experience and the back to it.
Okay, then looking at thank God you are from your technical perspective. How does Nigeria currently compare with other African basketball level national? I'm talking about other basketball national at their youth level. How can you compare our own youth team with other national youth team in Africa?
Honestly, we're not that bad. Well, I'm very sure the project only just private have more championship for them. Basically, have more youth games.
Okay, Coach Mutala, I think we'll be going for a short break and I will come back. I want you to tell us everything, what needed to change in the scouting processes, and of course, I want you to also share some light on the male counterpart because, of course, they didn't perform so well, but the female were flying so far. So you just also tell us what is actually the problem, what really happened to the male team. But it's time for us to go on a short break. When we come back, Coach Mutala is very much with us and is going to give us insight on what transpires in Côte d'Ivoire.
Match analysis and expert analysis from the world.
So I'm Baroness Verma. I'm a member of the House of Lords in the United Kingdom, a former Minister for Energy and Climate Change, and a former Minister for Development. To all the listeners of PMB Television, it is wonderful to be able to reach out to you, to all of you viewers. Please listen and learn and take away lessons that will enhance your country, but wider the globe.
Welcome back. It's the PMB Sports Show reaching live from the nation's capital. And of course, it's a privilege again that we have Coach Mutala here with us, one of the coaches of the under 18D Tigers, that's Junior Tigers, that just came back from Côte d'Ivoire. Of course, he's still with Côte d'Ivoire bread, very fresh. He said he's going to bring it to Misha when he come back from Jos. Okay, Coach Mutala, let's dive into it. Looking at the male counterpart, and you know how they qualified. We were so formidable. Even for me, I thought that we will I thought that the last phase will be sweep. That is the under 18 proper will be sweep for us. But unfortunately, we saw what happened. What is this thing with this MIR scan? We'll be hearing different stories. At least let's hear from the horse's mouth. You were there. What really transpired?
I don't have the full The middle. As of right, it should be probably
Okay, Coach Mutala, quickly before we let you go, what need to change in our grassroots development system to ensure these players successfully transition from under 18 basketball to the senior national team? What do you think we need to change to get that?
it has to be two categories. We need to play more games. We have to have more championship for the youth. More championship. We need to play more games. Basically, we need to play more games, more championship. Have more exposure. Have more opportunity. Also, yeah, the player has to be ready to all and they're not prepared for it. Yeah, extra work and the rest and that.
All right. On that note, Coach Mutala, I know you're a very busy person and you are just already, and I know that you are preparing. Of course, you should have it. You have a game today for the Zenith Zenith Bank Women Basketball League that is currently ongoing, and I want to wish you success in your game today. And of course, you come back to Abuja with a very good news. And when you come back, definitely you are going to come to the studio. So let's talk about the Titans, of course, your female team. All right, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for coming to the show this morning. All right, we'll be going on a short break. When we come back, of course, we're going to finish whatever we left. Definitely the under 18, that is what is still in our mind, how the male team performs, the performance of the male team and also the performance of the female team. But there's kind of this discrepancy. You say, is it not from the same country? How is the preparation like? Is it that the male team perform differently, prepare differently from the female team? But when we come back, definitely we are going to go into that and everything. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. No digments, no distractions, just pure unfiltered sport action.
Diogo Dallo, he pulls the ball then. That is outstanding!
Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Philogene in the penalty area, twisting and turning. He tries to flick it towards goal.
Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Into Osimhen.
30 minutes of breaking headlines, in-depth analysis, match pre-PM, one explosive hour of fearless opinion, heated debate, and non-stop football conversation. Weekdays at 9 a.m., Saturdays at 1 p.m. Stay ahead of... Welcome back. It's P&B Sports Show, reaching live from the nation's capital, and we just spoke to Coach Mutala Abdullahi, who is one of the junior D Tigers coaches at Côte d'Ivoire. This concluded under 18 championship basketball, AfroBasket championship. I beg your pardon. And he was telling us a whole lot about how the girls perform, the performance of the girls, and of course we got a silver medal from there, which of course I think is not a bad one at all. But going into the game proper, we've discussed, and the whole lot of story that came out of Côte d'Ivoire was, why is it that we have a whole lot of scandal? The scandal is the male team. We have 5 dropped out because of MRS scan. And you know what that means? It means that probably we are using overage players. But why do we have, is it that we did not do our own check and balance before we carry all these players down to Côte d'Ivoire? But again, so many people will ask, why is it that these guys were able to play, this guy was able to play, they were able to play the qualifiers. So they went to Burkina Faso. They played in Burkina Faso. Is it that they did not use the MRS scan in Burkina Faso? Why is it that when they got to Côte d'Ivoire, it becomes a problem? Why? So that is the question that we need to we need to ask, and we need answers to it, because you cannot tell us that we have certain players that played the qualifiers, the build-up, and you are now telling us that the main event they cannot participate in the main event. And I think that is where the question need to come from, and everybody, and I think NBBF need to ask that question, and we need an answer. And again, another story also broke out, and I said that okay, they on the spot they got them, and they said okay, they should go and do an MRI scan, and of course they never gave them the result back. We don't know how true that is, but that's another version. And I think that is where the NBBF, I beg your pardon, need to step in and tell us and demand an answer. Why is it like that? Is it that they're targeting us Nigerians? Of course, definitely, you know that we are one of the best in Africa. So anybody that sees us in any competition is always a threat. We're a threat to anybody in that tournament. But going into this, what needs to change in our grassroots development system to ensure these players successfully transition from the junior team to the senior team? And I think this is where the problem is, because we don't know how to track players, because we have a whole lot of program. Fred was here in the program 2 days ago, and we talked about grassroots tournaments. Even the Malians, what did they do? Because they have set already from under 12, under 14, under 16, like that. So from each of these levels, you see, you transition into the next level, and with that you'll be able to keep track of your players. Now if we are doing that, we know that okay, those that are in under 16, we know okay, by next 2 years they should be in under 18. So you see, we are tracking progress. But how is our program like? Grassroots program? And that is where the NBBF need to really come out strong and see how they are going to work on that, because in any organization, in any sport, grassroots is always the key, because that is where you produce player that's going to replace those ones at the top. And of course, except we start doing that, we are going to suffer. If I had to digress a little, you saw what is happening to the Super Falcons. Definitely we felt that, because we thought that we'll always be there at that top, not knowing that other people are walking down and they are coming towards us. And of course, indeed, it's quite unfortunate that this time around, not even only winning the AFCON, we couldn't get to the semi-finals, and not only getting there, we could not even qualify for the World Cup for the first time in history. The Super Falcons fell down, and that's a whole lot of a lesson for us to take home with. And I think we have to take our sport seriously, especially from the grassroots. Then finally, if we want to go down, okay, what is the next hope for these girls? They've qualified already for the under 19 World Cup that will be played in China next year. What is the program? What is the plan for these girls next year? What is the plan for this girl next year? And that is where I think everybody needs to come together. The NBBF, everybody needs to come together and see how we could in fact perfect, not that just go there and go and say okay, present, I'm here. Where is Nigeria? Present, I'm here. It's not to go and answer present, it's to go there and also do what we need to do. We need to go there and make an impact. I think that's the word. We have to go there and make an impact, not just to go and answer present and come back. No, we need to go there and make an. And how can we do that? We have to start preparing from now. We need the preparation to start from now. And a lot of stories also coming from there, and even the girls coming back winning the if you watch the finals, of course you say yes, we have something that we can really work with. We have talent, but I think the whole thing there is just how we could put them together and see what will happen. Of course, somebody like Coach Michael Ikema, which is the head coach of the male team, the under 18 junior Tigers, which is Michael Ikema. I think him too also is also one of the best coaches in Nigeria, and young at that matter. And I think giving him more opportunities like this is going to help us, and also encourage the younger coaches in Nigeria to also do well and aspire to see how they could get to that level. And again, I spoke to Coach Michael Okubo, I think last week, and he said the program that we are having, if we are not putting more attention to the coaches, because it's the coaches that will produce these players that we're talking about. But when you don't focus on those coaches, how do you expect them to produce the players, the kind of players, the quality players that you will want? So, and I think the NBBF have to look into that and see how they could create more programs for these coaches, refreshing courses, Probably you can send them abroad 1 or 2 or 3 in a year. Just go and get some courses, go and do some refresher courses, and come back to the country and give back what you've learned so far abroad. And I think if we can implement all these things, our sport will also go far. There's no two ways about it. There's not a doubt that we don't have talent. We do, but the problem now is how to manage them. And that is where the NBBF need to come in and see how they can manage these players all together. And that's why we draw the curtain on today's edition of the P&B Sports Show. A big thank you to Coach Muktala Abdullahi joining us from Jos for sharing his insight on the performances of the Junior D Tigers and D Tiger at the Under-18 AfroBasket in Côte d'Ivoire. The result may be the immediate talking point, but the bigger picture is the development of the next generation of Nigerian basketball stars. With the right structure, coaching, exposure, and support, these young players can become the future of the D Tigers and D Tigers. Follow us across all social media platforms on YouTube and on Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on IG at PMBTV_English, and on X at PMBTV_ENG. Coming up next is The Voices with Madina Azaki. I'm Abel Sunday. Thank you for watching, and remember,